Dr. Doom might not be coming to Earth just to fight the Avengers. He might already have a plan to control everything. Because the more you watch this trailer, the more one thing becomes obvious. Loki, the TVA, He Who Remains, the Void, Sentry, Nightcrawler, and even that shattered glass shot of Doom. These details feel way too connected to be random, and the craziest possibility? Some of these scenes may actually be showing us how Doom got his powers. So let's break down the trailer, because there are a lot of things Marvel may be hiding in plain sight. The trailer opens with Dr. Doom sitting in front of what looks like a massive citadel. In front of him, something appears to be forming inside this strange green energy. We still don't know exactly where that energy comes from, but the location immediately caught my attention, because this could very easily be the same citadel associated with He Who Remains. And if that's true, that's a massive clue. Think about it. By the end of the timeline, technology has evolved insanely far. So why would He Who Remains still be operating from an ancient-looking citadel, unless Doom has taken control of it? Or he's using something He Who Remains left behind. My theory is that this was originally He Who Remains citadel, and Doom simply repurposed it. He Who Remains may have spent years studying the timeline and preparing a specific sequence of events, because if everything continued normally, an incursion could eventually happen, and that could lead to Victor losing his wife and children, pushing him toward becoming the Doom we've been expecting. But what if He Who Remains was actually trying to prevent that? What if he manipulated a specific timeline where Doom never became this version of Victor? Then Loki took control of the multiverse, and everything changed. Incursions could start happening randomly. Timelines could develop completely differently, meaning Doom's entire life may have been altered. So Loki could indirectly be one of the reasons Dr. Doom exists in this form. And if Doom discovered that connection, it would explain why Loki could become one of his biggest targets. It also explains why Doom's citadel looks so similar to He Who Remains location. Maybe Doom didn't build it. Maybe he inherited it and then made it his own. Now let's talk about that green energy, because two characters immediately come to mind, Loki and Hela. And Hela is especially interesting. She can resurrect dead soldiers and control them with her powers. And what does Doom appear to be doing here? He seems to be awakening or controlling an entire army of Sentinels. So what if Doom isn't simply creating them? What if he's using some combination of Loki's magic and Hela's abilities to control them? We don't know yet, but the visual connection feels intentional. And there's another tiny detail. Inside that green energy, there's a specific symbol, and that same symbol appears connected to Doom's hand. So this might not be random energy. That symbol could actually be the source or conduit of his magic. It could even become the key to stopping him later. Then we get Doom's armor. He appears to have two completely different looks. One is clean, regal, almost like a ruler. The other is darker, rougher, and battle-worn. So are we getting two versions of Doom, or is this simply one Doom using two different suits? Because the clean armor could be part of his public image. He wants the Avengers to believe he's the good guy. The damaged armor? That's probably the real Doom underneath, and there's a tiny detail on that rougher suit that could be much more important. There's a small ribbon or patch wrapped around his hand. I tried zooming in, and it almost looks like there's writing or a design on it. I have two theories. Maybe it's connected to Doom's wife or children, something he carries to remember them. Or the ribbon itself could be connected to his power. Maybe removing it weakens him. Maybe it's some kind of magical object. And if Doom carries something connected to his family throughout the movie, it gives Victor a much more emotional layer. Because underneath all that armor, this could still be a man holding on to the people he lost. Now look at what's around Doom. In one intimidating shot, something is lying beside him, and behind him, another figure almost looks like it's standing there. That makes me wonder if Doom has built his army around magic and sorcery. And if that figure is Doctor Strange, things get even crazier, because strange variants are some of the strongest magic users across the multiverse. Doom could be taking powerful sorcerers from different realities and bringing them under his control. But how? We don't know. Maybe he isn't controlling their minds directly. Maybe he's controlling the magical forces that created or empowered them. And that would explain why his army seems connected to magic instead of being made up of ordinary soldiers. There's also something strange about the location. Doom and these characters appear to be standing on a huge, elevated platform, and underneath it, there's this strange glowing environment. Compare that to what we've already seen from the TVA, the gold tones, the massive architecture, that elevated platform. The whole visual language feels surprisingly similar. So there's a possibility this is actually a TVA-related location. And that brings us to one of the biggest details in the trailer. The TVA appears to have been attacked. Remember those shots showing people moving through the TVA's television-based system? The TV itself looks damaged. And then there's Miss Minutes. For a split second, she appears to glitch. That kind of glitch can signal interference with the timeline, or TVA system. So what if Doom actually entered the TVA? What if he attacked it directly? And what if that attack is connected to Loki's power? Because if Doom understands the TVA, he could potentially understand Loki's entire multiversal system. And according to one rumor, Doom may even kill Loki in an extremely brutal way. There's a rumor that Doom could literally crush Loki's heart. And at this point, how many times is Loki going to die? The guy seriously can't catch a break. There's another weird detail. When Loki appears in the TVA footage, he doesn't always have that iconic green look, and Doom himself is wearing green. So there's a theory that Doom could have somehow taken or copied part of Loki's power. Maybe that's why his green magic looks the way it does. Maybe Doom's green cloak isn't just a costume choice. Maybe it's actually connected to Loki. And if that's true, it could explain why Thor becomes so emotional when he sees Doom. Because maybe Thor realizes exactly what Doom has done. And that could lead directly to Thor versus Dr. Doom. The emotional reason could be simple. You brought my brother back. Now you're going to pay for what you did to him. If Marvel actually connects Thor and Loki to this fight, that battle is going to hit very differently. But then we get one of the most misunderstood shots in the entire trailer. Doom appears to fly through a window and perform a classic superhero landing. But slow it down. Doom isn't actually flying forward. He's moving backward. The glass breaks behind him, which makes it look like someone actually hit Doom and launched him through the window. He crashes through the glass, then catches himself with magic and turns the impact into that dramatic landing. If that's what happened, someone inside that building already knows exactly who Doom is, and that's important. Because another shot shows The Thing, John Walker, Falcon/Sam, and Ghost together. So someone inside that building could realize Doom is dangerous and attack him. My first guess, Captain America. And there's an even crazier possibility. Captain America could be using Mjolnir. Remember the earlier trailer footage where Steve is holding the hammer? That Mjolnir looked damaged, almost shattered. Now look at the object flying past Doom during this impact. It doesn't look like a normal hammer. It almost looks like a broken piece. If Mjolnir has already been shattered into multiple pieces, what we're seeing could simply be the handle or another fragment. So these scenes could actually connect. Captain America gets the damaged Mjolnir and then uses it against Doom. But why would Captain America attack him? There's another crazy rumor. Doom may kill Captain America's son, James, directly in front of him. If that's true, Doom isn't just fighting Steve, he's deliberately pushing him into a rage. And that could explain the brutal attack. Thor may also be nearby, because Thor is shown flying into the same general environment. So we could be watching multiple heroes converge on Doom at the exact same location. And then, Thor versus Doom. Notice something. That same building appears in the background. Zoom in, and the shattered window is still there, which strongly suggests these scenes are connected. Doom also appears to transition from that clean, formal outfit into his more traditional warrior armor. So maybe Marvel is deliberately rearranging the sequence. Maybe we're not seeing two different Dooms. Maybe we're watching the same Doom switch from his public persona to his true form. And Marvel is using those two suits to make us think they're different versions. Then there's the black magic. Before Doom's green energy appears, we see something much darker, almost completely black. So what is it? Maybe death magic, maybe dark magic, or the void. And this is where Sentry becomes extremely important. When Sentry becomes the void, his appearance becomes completely black. In the comics, the Void is essentially a separate entity connected to Sentry, but the movie may be changing that. Instead of making the Void completely separate, they could treat it as a manifestation of Bob's trauma and psychological state, meaning the power still exists inside Sentry. And if Doom can study or analyze extraordinary powers, he could identify that power inside Bob. And that's supposedly one of Doom's abilities in this movie, the ability to observe and analyze powers. If that's true, Sentry's Void could be exactly the kind of power Doom would want. And there's another reason this theory feels interesting. Across the teasers, we've seen Sentry, the Void, and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler can teleport through that strange, smoky-looking effect. Now watch Doom's movement. At one point, his flight almost looks like he's teleporting mid-movement. So what if Doom isn't simply flying? What if he's using abilities he's taken from other powerful beings? Maybe Sentry's power, maybe the Void, maybe Nightcrawler's teleportation, maybe abilities we haven't even seen yet. What if Doom has essentially studied these characters and absorbed their powers into himself? It's still a theory, but the trailer definitely gives that impression. And if Doom actually kills Sentry, I can already hear the theater. Wait, did he just kill Sentry? Because Sentry is ridiculously powerful. Watching Doom casually destroy him would instantly establish how dangerous Victor really is. Now let's talk about Reed and Sue. This could be one of the biggest confirmations hiding in plain sight. Both Reed and Sue clearly know Victor personally, and they don't necessarily call him Dr. Doom, they call him Victor. That's important. If they're comfortable using his first name, they've probably known him for years, which strongly supports the idea that this Doom comes from Earth 828, the Fantastic Four's universe. And there's another strange detail. Latveria appears to be empty. The throne is basically sitting there without Victor. So what happened? Maybe a massive civil war happened in Latveria. Maybe something prevented Victor from returning. Or maybe Victor lost his wife and children, and that's why he wasn't there. Whatever happened, something clearly separated Victor from his home, and that could be the emotional foundation behind his transformation into Doctor Doom. Then there's the Hugh Jackman mystery. There's a hallway where Hugh Jackman's character could potentially appear, and the location looks very similar to the place where Sue and the other Avengers are being addressed. The background colors, the architecture, the overall design, it all feels connected. And considering the movie has already been teasing Hugh Jackman, I wouldn't be surprised if this is more than an Easter egg. We could actually get a proper cameo, especially because the opening footage seems to tease Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. If that happens, the theater reaction is going to be insane. Now there's another Doom line that deserves way more attention. He tells the Avengers they're living lives that were stolen from them, and that he's here to take those lives back. At first, I thought he was specifically talking about Cassie because of everything connected to her and the quantum realm. But then I noticed Ant-Man, Scott Lang, is standing there, and suddenly the line makes more sense. Think about the Infinity Saga. Scott survived the snap because he was trapped in the quantum realm. Everyone around him disappeared, then he returned, and became a major part of the events that brought everyone back. Technically, Scott was part of the chain of events that restored those billions of lives. So Doom could look at Scott and basically say, you weren't supposed to be living this life. And that's why Ant-Man could be one of Doom's targets. Not because Scott is the strongest Avenger, but because his existence is connected to the restoration of billions of lives. And there's one final thing I really hope Marvel doesn't mess up. Both trailers seem to use almost the same locations. They're not showing us huge sections of the movie. They're giving us controlled pieces. And honestly, that's exactly what I want. Because if Marvel keeps this much secrecy, the hype for this movie could become absolutely insane. But if they start releasing footage that basically shows the entire movie, I'm going to be pissed. The movie doesn't need more hype. It already has it. The real danger now is Marvel revealing too much, because Doctor Doom has become one of the most anticipated villains in the MCU. And if even half of these theories are true, this movie could be completely insane. So here's what I want to know. What did you catch that I missed? Do you think Doom is using Loki's power? Is that black energy connected to the void? Could Doom really have absorbed Sentry or Nightcrawler's abilities? And most importantly, who actually launched Doom through that window? Drop your theory in the comments.